Okay, hello, my name is Brant Hunt. Um, my channel is simply called Discerning What is True. I'm going to be reading from this particular book here, Kabbalah, that is Tradition of Hidden Knowledge. This was a book recommended by Phil Langdon. Phil Langdon lives in London, England, and what we're going to do tonight is to read from this particular part of the book. I've already done one installment of this book. If you're interested in the conversation that me and Phil had over on Thursday of this week, where we met from his place in London, talking about this particular book. Uh, so it's a little over an hour long. Uh, Hopefully we'll do more transmissions of this particular subject because I feel like it's a very important subject that most people aren't aware of the significance of this book. So let's see if I can find this copy here. Just bear with me here. I'm having to open up a particular window here. And for some reason, it's taken a little while to open up. Okay, we got it open up here, so we're going to go into this piece here. So this is called, a section here is going to be called Work of Creation. And let's see if we can do this thing right here. Make it easier for me to see. So this is called Work of Creation. So we'll just go into this particular piece here. See if this makes it a little bit easier for me to read. So this is again from a Jewish writer. His name is Zeb ben Shimon Halevi, or Halevi. Sounds French, but it's not. So here we go. As creation emerges out of the world of the Sephirah to begin the cosmic week of days, so time was called forth out of eternity. The motion of creation, formation, and action will be continuously until the end of days, when the mission of existence is accomplished. At the point of the process of outflowing and return, we are according to Kabbalist tradition about midway, as the stream of matter has been reached and the awakening consciousness of evolution begin to raise the level of the universe out of the mineral, vegetable, and animal stages into the incarnated human stage, thus taking our own immediate area of the universe. The Milky Way has progressed enough to refine into a distinct spiral formation with a structure composed of atom-based stars, which is in turn have evolved molecularly based planets. And on the surface of one of these existing cell-based organic life, that is, this order of evolution chain was well to be common to other galaxies and solar systems, and include minerals, plants, animals, and humanoids, which would be not entirely unfamiliar to mankind, this notion of is based upon the principle that all organisms are based on the same Sephirah model, which generates generates creatures that possess will, intellect, emotion, and capability of action. The planet Earth, after entering fiery, gaseous, liquid, and solid phases, has acquired what appears to be a relatively stable, or relatively stability, that is, in the long term. This is illusionary, that is, cosmic rhythms, when perceived on their own time scale, are anything but static or undramatic. For example, it is only in the last few million years that conditions have been suitable for life, and of this period, only a fraction has produced mankind. On this scale of time, human history reveals a drama of rapidly unfolding events as periods of crisis and quiet unfold with episodes within rhythms of one part of mankind emerges to dominate the scene. As in the Mediterranean world, the Greeks gave way to the Romans, which was that then superseded by the Arabs. All these flowering and withering corresponds to planetary and stellar fluctuations and are the human response to the cosmic tensions between order and chaos, which is seen as in a personal sphere as the conflict between good and evil. According to some Kabbalists, the moment creation separated from the world of imagination, there emerged the principle of evil. Now, evil is not always what it appears to be. There are different kinds of evil. The highest form is self-will. This is embodied in the archangel Lucifer, who rebelled against God. It is manifested all the way down through the worlds as the principle that always knows better, and he is found in the proud and arrogant on every level. Then there is the role of the tempter, who has one of the dirtiest jobs in existence. This requires great skill, and it is here that Lucifer, who performs his task, or should I say this task, uses excessively cleverness. The snake in Genesis is the same manifestation as is Satan in Job. These types of evil belong to the central pillar of the tree and are concerned with consciousness. However, there are also evil elements associated with the side pillars of function. There are evil generated by the excessive contractions of too much form or severity, or by the excessive expansion of too much force or mercy. These evils are embodied in the demonic remnants of the previous worlds that existed before this universe. As such, they can carry out the work of testing and tempering the process and products of creation. For example, we see them in the tensions set up by extremes of wealth or privation in human society. The last and lowest kind of evil is not really evil at all. Its results appear harmful or unpleasant, but are not. Such natural processes as excretion, death, and dissolution are the refuge phases of the creative, formative, and active cycles, and without them, the universe would be cluttered up. In the divine plan, mankind has a crucial role to play. According to tradition, each individual is seen down to accomplish a task that is related to a special aspect of the whole scheme. Clearly, this is not possible in one lifetime, and so Kabbalah subscribes to the idea of reincarnation called Gilgam, or the turning in Hebrew. Our tree will, leading to willful, willless, or willing actors, generates what is in India is called karma, and in Kabbalah, reward and punishment unto the third and fourth generation. When this multiple dimensional picture of human destiny is perceived, we see that an individual is not only a cell of Adam Kadmon with certain gifts and properties, but an entity that is periodically born into a physical body in order to accomplish its tasks. Thus birth and rebirth is no random event, but a carefully organized operation under what is called the supervision of heaven, which as the general cosmic agency of divine will, has commanded of all in the lower worlds, you see. Such ancient names for Kabbalah, Kabbalists, I should say, as those who know, and the reapers, the field, refer to the dimensions and explains why many of them have deep affection for or knowing of other periods and countries. They were there carrying out the work of creation. The work of creation for mankind is conscious participation in the realization of the divine intention. In this, the Kabbalist and only makes himself more and more aware of the events in the greater and unseen worlds above, but actually helps to bring in the brings in the influxes descending from the upper into the lower worlds. He does this by being skillful in practical life, psychologically sound and spiritually clear. This makes him a good instrument to carry out any task Providence may assign him. It means that he not only unconsciously performs according to his faith, as many do, but acts from knowledge so that he can adjust and adapt an event or action in order to fill it with greater light, purity, balance, and efficiency. To endow it, in other words, with the qualities of all four worlds. An example of this was the great 18th century teacher and Kabbalist Baal Shem Tov, T-O-V. Spelled it to you, Baal or Baal, B-A-A-L, Shem, S-H-E-M, and T-O-V, who brought about a profound spiritual revival in a desolated Jewish community in Eastern Europe. This could only be done while he was in the flesh. The idea of the presence of such developed people upon the earth who are here by choice is common to all spiritual traditions. In Kabbalah, the table of the lame veil, V-A-V is in Victor, the 36 just men, hints at the presence of a brotherhood scattered around the globe of wise beings who watch over the spiritual life of mankind. At this level, they may well be Hindus sitting in Himalaya caves, Muslims working silver in Damascus, Christians practicing medicine in London, or Jews teaching economics in Russia. No one but they, we are told, know who the 36 are, because to the world they appear quite naturally within their everyday context. Tradition goes further and hints at a whole hierarchy of spiritual evolved people with each level concerned with a different stage of mankind's progress. Some of these individuals may be well known to the public, others hidden, as if this one who is called in Islam the axis of the ages. In Kabbalah, this most perfected or incarnate humans, sorry about that, folks, I just hit the wrong button. Incarnate human is the representative of the Messiah, who acts as the connection between all the worlds. In this one man, all the levels possible at the point of incarnated evolution have been unified, and he acts as the spearhead of for mankind. Such a person is said to be present in every generation, so that the usual conception of the Messiah as having been or being yet to come takes on the dimension of the divine, which is I was, I am, and I will be. To Kabbalists, it could be no other way except that the Messiah will and the approach of the end of the days, became known openly to all mankind when the work of creation approaches its final perfection. Sorry about that. Continue on. This is a section called completion now. The work of creation is slowly refining the mirror of existence into a higher and more subtle state in order to reflect in the evolving consciousness of Adam a clearer and more lucid image of God. Thus, as the macrocosm develops, so mankind, as it spreads throughout all worlds, looks both outward and inward, so creating an increasing unity above and below. This is observable in the evidence of the earth, which has continually refined the fabric of its elements and the quality of life upon to its surface. In the short term, human beings have been involved in the planet's affairs. We have moved from tribes to nomadic hunters into agricultural people, from which nations, then empires, and then civilization has evolved. It's true that many of these larger units of humanity have exhibited the more savage traits of mankind, but it can also be observed that tribal custom has given way to the rule of law in various degrees of wisdom, understanding truth, justice, and mercy. This has come about by the presence of wise and enlightened people behind every step in civilization. We have shown by example the higher way to think, feel, and act. Such work is quite pleasant over thousands of years, sustained by countless known and unknown men and women edging the human race towards perfection, and periodically stimulated by such messianic teachers as Buddha, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. It can be said that mankind has emerged from its vegetable period of mere survival and is now in its animal stage, where nations like animals are still striving for dominance. However, the next step up towards the world appears to be emerging, in that there is not only a physical global awareness through mass communication, but an increasing psychological sensitivity to the rights of men and women. Moreover, in some parts of the world, there has been recent years a deepening interest in spiritual matters, and so the slow unification of the three lower worlds of mankind can be detected as a economy or vegetable level, a political or animal level, a psychological or soul level, and a ecumenical or spiritual level. According to the laws embodied in all these worlds, there are times when the balance is momentarily out to one side, and so there are some epochs of tremendous activity and others in which little happens, just as in a man's life. To these periods, things can go wrong, because the demons or demonic forces, both within and without, seek to impose their will. In such periods, some people will work to hold the balance, while others will, out of perversity of self-interest, try to and the forces that disrupt or restrain the new phase that is coming into being. This gives many social and political issues a cosmic or spiritual dimension. The wars of decolonization in Africa illustrate the point that is. However, we are told towards the end of days, when the great cycles of the cosmic Shemata are drawing to their close and completely new dimensions will arise that only apocalyptic allegory can describe, because it involves the upper worlds more and more directly. The hallmark of the period is said to be the final confrontation between good and evil. That is the polarization between those who affirm the aim of existence and those who seek their own purpose. The former will be represented symbolically and literally by the Messiah, who is said will be the last spirit to be incarnated upon this earth, and the latter by the anti-Messiah, or the most egotistical of beings, after a conflict in which even the skies and nature will express the war in all the world will strange terrestrial and celestial phenomenon. There will, in the the defeat of evil, be total peace and world order reigned over by the Messiah. The period, however, is in which time, we're told, gradually slows down, is but a prelude to allow everyone to prepare for the last judgment as the end of days. According to Kabbalah, on the final day, or the cosmic cycle, every creature from above and below is brought up before the throne of heaven and assessed as regards its performance through the whole of time. Some are exalted to the heights, and others thrown down into the depths. At the last hours of creation draw the separated worlds closer together in unification. As each creature gazes at the divine presence that is upon the throne, so it realizes that it is but a facade of a whole. Finally, as the last fully realized spirit of mankind blends into Adam Catman, so the great image of God looks into the mirror of existence to see in the total experience of humanity the reflection of its own divinity. At that moment, perfection is reached in the union with the holy name of, quote, I am that I am. When God beholds God, in the radiance of this completion, image merges with reality to dissolve into Ein Sof and to vanish into Angen again. Alone God is God. Holy, holy, holy art thou, King of the universe. Thy glory fills all the worlds. According to tradition, Melchizedek, the king of righteousness and of Salem, and priest of the Most High God, initiated Abraham into the knowledge of the esoteric teaching which concerns man, the universe, and God. Melchizedek, born, it is said, without father or mother, having neither beginning nor end of life, is traditionally called a son of God, abiding forever. He is seen as the same individual as Enoch, the first initiative, and Elijah, the instructor of the mystics down the ages. Out of the encounter between a celestial and terrestrial man came the spiritual line known later as Kabbalah. Melchizedek and Abraham, gold and enamel altar plaques by Nicholas de Verdun in Austria in the 12th century. And it shows a picture of this here. It does also show what me and Phil talked about a little bit, what he called angel language, which is in this book here. And let me show you what it looks like. See if I can get to the right point. Bear with me. So this is what I'm talking about here, what they call English. Part of it you can see is probably what I call, and I don't know what language it is, I'm sorry folks, but this is the one down below here. It's good to actually get you a copy basically here. Let me just share this with you. This would help you to understand a little bit more. Just go to www.welive.com and then simply look for the book Kabbalah, Tradition of Hidden Knowledge, and download the book on your computer and read it for yourself if you have that interest. So we're here at this part here. It's said that God first taught the secrets of existence to the highest archangels who formed an inner council at the celestial court of the Almighty. In this Christian version of the teachings in Jewish art, there can be no natural representation of God. The Creator prescribes the laws that will govern creation. These are based, according to the Kabbalah, on the 10 Sephirah. divine attributes or manifestations of the absolute, willed into existence in order that God might behold God. God, the architect of creation. And this is from Holcomb Bible, England in the 11th century. He said that God took compassion on Adam after he had been banished from Eden, and so sent the archangel Raziel, whose name means secrets of God, to give him a book so that man might not only regain entry to the Garden of Paradise, but remember that he was as the image of God, the looker into the mirror of existence, wherein he would perceive the divine face. This book has been handed down, although degenerated written version, that is, having obscured its content. A oral version still exists in Kabbalah, that is, these are angelical writings from the book of Raziel, which was in Netherlands. The next piece here is a piece here with the menorah. Yes, a piece of it here, the menorah here, the candles, which is 7 candlesticks. And where you light the one in the middle, it all works in a way of unison, that all of them open. Similar to the 7 chakras. The first obvious teaching diagram of the Jewish esoteric tradition is the menorah, the candlestick specified by God to Moses on Mount Sinai, which is based upon Exodus 25. Made of one piece of pure gold to represent the unchanging and unified divine world of imagination. It is composed of a center axis of grace, right and left arms of mercy and severity, 10 plus 1 separate positions, and 22 decorations. This ritual object is the exoteric form of an esoteric scheme of existence, and is there to be contemplated as well as utilized in worship. Menorah from Bible, this is from Sephar's heart, is from the 13th century diagram showing the Sephirah set out on the menorah. So again, this is the picture we're right here. The next picture is the wheels upon the wheels here, and we'll talk a little bit about this one here also. In the second temporal period of Jewish history, roughly 6th century BCE, before Common Era, 1st century Christian era, what is now known as Kabbalah was called the work of the chariot. The name comes from the prophetical vision of Ezekiel, whose writings form the basics of much Jewish mystical experience and thought. Chapter 1 of Ezekiel expresses in the metaphysical language of the time the hierarchy of worlds. See pages 11 and 41. The world of action on earth, the world of the chariot or formation, the world of the throne or creation, and the divine world of imagination, shown as Adam, the likeness of the glory of God. Such glimpses of the upper worlds was sought through the so-called work of the chariot, despite the dangers involved for the impure, the unbalanced, and the untrained. This is Ezekiel's vision from the Bear, B-E-A-R, Bible that is in England in the 17th century. And I'm going to probably stop here at this point. We may go into this piece here, but at this point, simply I want to stop here at this point. So I wanted to appreciate you being here, time-wise. Um, Let me get to the point where I can see myself here. Um, and it's around 30 minutes, so I'm gonna stop at this point. This is already pretty much already we've gotten here. We're page it's only 100 pages, so it's about we're already almost 40% done. We're at page 37, and we'll continue on tomorrow hopefully and start there at that point. So thank you for being here. I wish you a good night, and you take care. Again, this is Discerning What Is True. My name is Brant, B-R-A-N-T, Hunt. Again, this is on YouTube. I'll put this on YouTube, my channel, Discerning What Is True. Also, it will be on Facebook, also to share with others who may have interest of deeper things. So thank you for this evening. Again, this is the first day of November 2025. And thank you. One more thing I'll say something. This book has a lot, you know, Phil Langdon said this, there's all types of artwork here showing different things, and unless he shares this stuff here, right here, with what it looks like and all these artwork, no one would know what this is. So hopefully we'll be able to meet again sometime real soon, me and Phil, and we can go into that because I don't understand all of it, and I'm sure most of you don't. But it is an intriguing book. Phil Langdon says it's probably the most important book out there dealing with the Kabbalah. So, all right. Thank you for being here again. Like I said, you have a good evening. You take care.